morning everyone. Today's our 7th class science topic is corrosion of iron. Yesterday we will discuss about physical change and chemical change, and also we had discussed about the difference between physical change and chemical change. Now we will study about the process of corrosion, and mainly in case of iron, how corrosion in iron take place. Corrosion means slowly eating up of metals. Corrosion means slowly eating up of metals. There is a decaying of metals with the help of our atmosphere, that is air and water, because air is present in our atmosphere and water is also. So when both air and water are available, then many metals get degraded or eaten up and known as the corrosion. Mainly in case of iron, this process is known as rusting. And in case of other metals, such as rusting in case of iron, and in case of other metals, copper, silver, gold, this process is known as corrosion. Gold and platinum are the very less reactive metals, so corrosion process take place very slowly. Okay, in case of copper and silver also, but corrosion of copper take place so fast as compared to silver, gold and platinum metals. Iron corrodes readily when it is exposed to air and water. When iron oxide is formed. Here water molecules are X. X means number of water molecules. 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. Now we balance this chemical reaction. When both air and water are available to the iron metal, then the process of rusting is take place and iron oxide is formed and it is called rust. Okay? Rusting is an oxidation process. Oxidation process means it use oxygen. Here use of oxygen take place, so rusting is an oxidation process. In oxidation process, oxygen is used by the elements and oxidized to form their compound oxide. Okay. Now what are the conditions which are necessary for rusting? Conditions necessary for rusting are presence of oxygen and presence of water. These are the essential conditions for rusting process to take place. Okay. If both are not available at the same time, then rusting process does not take place. For example, when we leave an iron object in such type of space where no water is available, then the process of rusting does not take place. Means if one condition is not available to the iron object, then the process of rusting not take place. After that, how we prevent prevention of rusting? After that, prevention of rusting. How we prevent the iron objects, the rusting process not take place? First one is, in prevention of rusting, we can prevent metals by corrosion. Means corrosion of metals not take place when they are painted or a layer of grease is covered up on the metals. We can prevent the metals either by painting or grease is done on the metal objects. Iron metal या other metals, mainly in case of iron metal, is prevented from rusting when a coating of another metals cover up, a thin layer of coating means covering a thin layer of another metal which is more reactive than iron. We can prevent iron from rusting because more reactive metals form its corresponding oxide, such as covering of zinc metal, zinc oxide is formed and our iron metal left uncorroded. Okay, and this process of covering a thin layer of coating of another metal in case of zinc is known as galvanization. Galvanization process means in this process we cover up a thin layer of zinc metal on iron metal. Okay. Iron is also coated with other metals such as tin metal and the process is known as tin coating. When iron is covered with tin metal, then the process is known as tin coating. Symbol of tin is SN. After that, we can also prevent the process of rusting by making alloys. We can make many types of alloy. When iron is combined with other metals such as chromium or nickel, then an alloy that is stainless steel is formed. And we observe in our daily life stainless steel is an alloy of iron mixed with chromium or nickel metal which is not corroded and the process of rusting not take place in case of stainless steel. Okay students, this is about the corrosion of iron. After that, the next topic is crystallization. Next one is crystallization. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it, and these salts are also gets separated by the method of evaporation. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it, and we can remove these impurities or salt from the water with the help of evaporation method, which we had already discussed in 6th class. In evaporation method, this process is not take place in large scale. In evaporation method, generally we heat the given substances and water converted into water vapors and solid salt remains in the container. But in here the crystallization method is somewhat different from the evaporation method. In this method we cannot heat, in this method we get the crystals from their sample of impure form to pure form. Okay. There are two main difficulties in the process of evaporation. First one is the crystals obtained are so small. In case of evaporation, we get the crystals and the size and shape of the crystals are not known and they are so small in size. One difficulty we face in evaporation process, and next difficulty is it cannot separate the soluble impurities. So, on behalf of evaporation, we prefer the crystallization method. Now, what are the crystals? Crystals are the solid particles having flat surface, regular shape and size, and particular edge. Crystals are mainly the solid particles and they have their particular shape. Okay, these are the crystals. In the crystallization method, it is the process in which first we heat the given content and after heating we can cool, and further cooling we separate the crystals of impure salt from their pure crystals to obtain from impure substances. So, crystallization is the process in which we get pure crystals by cooling the hot substances. Okay. In this method, we easily separate the soluble impurities from insoluble impurities, which is not possible in evaporation method. In crystallization method, the benefit is that we can separate the soluble impurities from insoluble impurities, means we get that there are two types of impurities in this process. Now with the help of example, we can explain it. The insoluble impurities are removed by the process of filtration, and the soluble impurities gets removed during crystallization method. If in the given amount we get both type of impurities, soluble as well as insoluble, then first we separate the insoluble impurities by using filtration method on filter paper with the help of filter paper, and after that the soluble impurities are removed by using crystallization method. Now with the help of this method, how we separate? It means separation of pure copper sulfate from impure copper sulfate. We easily explain this method with the help of an activity in the laboratory. We take 10 gram of the copper sulfate solution in 10 gram of the copper sulfate solution which is impure. Impure means it contains sand particles, dirt particles, etc. We take this 10 gram of the copper sulfate solution which contains many impurities. After taking this amount, we can dissolve this in a limited amount of water. Not excess of water is taken here. We mix 10 gram of this copper sulfate solution into a limited amount of water, and after dissolving, mixing this sample in minimum amount of water, the impurities are filtered. First, impurities are filtered with the help of a filtration method, and now we get soluble copper sulfate. Means insoluble impurities are filtered and soluble copper sulfate remains in the vessel. Now first we hot this given amount of copper sulfate solution. After heating, we further cool for about 24 hours. After cooling, we get the crystals of the copper sulfate solution, and blue colored copper sulfate solution, blue colored copper sulfate crystals are get in the China dish, on filter paper. After 24 hours, we get blue colored copper sulfate crystals. Means this separation technique contains two steps. First step is heat the given content, and further cool the hot concentrated copper sulfate solution. Cool the hot concentrated copper sulfate solution. This process mainly contains these two steps. First, heat the copper sulfate solution. After that, cool this hot copper sulfate solution for about 24 hours, and after cooling we get the blue colored copper sulfate crystals on the filter paper. Okay students, thank you. Now this chapter is finished.